In week 3, lesson 1, we're going to talk about ratio and rates. And if you don't know already, a ratio compares the relative size of two quantities. A comparison or ratio may be written in different ways. For this box of colored squares, the comparison is 2 squares out of 8 squares are green. Some of the ways of writing this ratio are, so I'm going to highlight these, 2/8, 2 out of 8, 2:8, or 2 with the word 28, 20, T-O, not 20, T-O. So we have 8 altogether, and then they were asking which of the squares are green. So 2 over 8, because 2 are green, and there's 8 altogether. 2 out of 8, 2:8, or 2:8. And then they say in lowest terms, this ratio is written. So they put this, they put that fraction into lowest terms. So if you had 2/8, I can divide the top and the bottom by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So they got 1/4. So we're going to use these pictures to write the following ratios as fractions. So all together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is going to be our denominator. And they're telling us to write it as a fraction. So right now we're just practicing writing it as a fraction. So it says compare the number of fruits to the total number of items. So to the total number of items, I have 8. But they're specifically asking for the number of fruits. So if I count up my fruits, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my fraction here, my ratio is 5/8. On number 2, compare the number of beverages to fruits. So this time they're not asking for all the items. They're asking for beverages to fruits. Well, I know that I had 5 fruits, so my denominator is going to be 5. And now we're going to count how many beverages, and that would be 3. So this fraction would be 3/5. Compare the number of beverages to the total number of items. So now we're back at the total number of items and beverages. So I know I have 8 items altogether, and we counted 3 beverages, so my fraction is 3/8. Number 4 says, if the amount of items in this selection is doubled, what would the ratio of beverages to fruit in lowest terms be? So the ratio of, let's see, they're asking for beverages to fruit in lowest terms, beverages to fruit. So beverages to fruit, we had 3. And how many fruits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. On slide number 2 on the practice page, we're going to use the pictures to write the following ratios with a colon. So they're giving specific directions on what they want you to use. So a colon, remember, is those 2 dots. On your keyboard, you might have to hit shift and then the colon key for it to work. This is a semicolon, and that's also on your keyboard, but we will be using a colon. So it says compare the number of baseballs to the total number of balls. So my total here all together, if you count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 altogether. They are specifically asking here about the baseballs. So there are 4 baseballs. So my ratio is 4 to 12 because we have 12 altogether. Compare the number of footballs to basketballs. So now we're doing footballs to basketballs. So there are, and you have to go in order as it's written. So there are 3 footballs. To the number of basketballs, and there are 5 basketballs. So 3 to 5 is going to be your ratio. The next part says, use this picture to write the following ratios using the word to or out of. So it says, compare the number of orange boxes to the total number of boxes in the first row. So just talking about the first row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be out of 10. So now we're just talking about the orange boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this ratio is going to be 5 to 10, or 5 out of 10. Number 8, compare the number of blue boxes to the number of yellow boxes. So this is blue right here, and this is our yellow down here at the bottom. So blue boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 to 8, or 7 out of 8. On your slide number 3, you really need to pay attention to the directions here because the directions change a little bit. So the first set of directions, it says use the chart to write ratios using a colon. So you're going to be using your colon for, that's not what I wanted. You're going to be using your colon for 1 through 3. So, for example, number 1 says, compare the number of baseballs to the total of all types of balls pictured. So, all together we have 16. So, I write 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we have 16. And specifically, they're asking about baseballs. So, that would be 4. No, there's 5 baseballs. So that would be 5 colon, and of course my colons don't really look like colons because of my pen, so 5 to 16 would be your ratio there. There, that looks better. 5 to 16 would be your ratio there. When you get down to number 4, they want you to use the chart to write a ratio using the word to. So number 4 says, compare the number of stars pictured to the numbers of moons pictured. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. So 6, 2. The number of moons would be 4. So 6 to 4 is your ratio. The bottom part says, use the information below to write ratios as fractions in simplest form. In the Norton Middle School supply store, there are the following items: 20 composition books, 5 calculators, 10 pens, 50 pencils, and 8 erasers. Compare the number of calculators to composition notebooks. So you can use the word to, you can use the colon, or you can use out of. It's your choice on here. So the number of calculators would be 5 to the number of composition notebooks would be 20. So 5 to 20. Now, they said in simplest form, but I know that's going to be difficult for some of you, which is okay because we haven't practiced it that much. So 5 over 20, you think, well, what can I divide the top and the bottom both by? Well, here you can divide it both by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So it would also be 1 to 4. If you can't put it in simplest form, that's okay. We will practice it.